Before you watch this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. Rocket Raccoon is the best of all the MCU characters, in my opinion. When I call Rocket the best MCU character, I'm not saying he is the most powerful or the most crucial to where the team is at right now. What I am saying is Rocket has come the farthest and developed the most out of all the other characters. This all began with as we learn in the movie, Subject 89P13, whom refers to himself as Rocket, was created by illegal experimentation on a lower life form. Rocket's creation was, in his mind, purposeless. In fact, he openly states that,
"Well, I didn't ask to get made! I didn't ask to be torn apart and put back together over and over and turned into some little monster!"
We also learn that Rocket's creation was extremely painful, and both the brutality and pointlessness of Rocket's creation are the causation for Rocket's contentment towards everyone except for his only friend Groot. This is what he has been stewing in for the entirety of his existence when we meet him in Volume 1. Rocket is brilliantly introduced to us, insulting those around him.
Xandarians, what a bunch of losers. All of them in a big hurry to get from something stupid to nothing at all.
Gunn does this intentionally to highlight Rocket's resentment towards the rest of all those around him, as one of Rocket's central issues to be addressed in the Guardians films. Additionally, due to his resentment, Rocket cares only about himself and Groot, which will be more important later on in his journey. Because he only cares about himself, he makes stupid and reckless decisions throughout these movies. He does not care about the consequences because he does not want to care about anything. In turn, this pushes away people because, as Yondu points out, just a little bit of love reminds him of how empty he is inside. But we'll get back to that later. It is through Rocket's attempt to turn Peter Quill in for money that he meets what will become his family, in jail. And it is in the prison that Rocket is put in a situation where he is forced to rely on others in order to escape. This acts as the onset of his character arc to come, but he is far from finished. He still dislikes all of the Guardians except for Groot, so he continues acting selfishly and recklessly, which leads to Rocket learning his actions have consequences. Skipping the majority of the plot, the Guardians end up on the ship of the antagonist, and as a reckless means of attacking said antagonist, Rocket crashes the ship that is their only means of being transported away safely into the antagonist. As we have previously spoken about, this is another example of Rocket acting recklessly, but this time it looks like he's going to get the entirety of the group killed. That is until Groot, the only person in the world Rocket cares about, sacrifices himself to save Rocket and the rest of the Guardians. Throughout the film, Groot is only able to say the phrase, "I am Groot."
So what?
So as Groot is sacrificing himself to save the group, Rocket pleads him not to do so.
No, Groot! You can't. You'll die. Why are you doing this? Why?
Groot responds to this with,
"We are Groot."
The reason this is so important is because it, 1, shows Rocket that it is okay to care about other people, even though he's not fully ready for that, and 2, shows that his actions have consequences and those consequences can affect those that he cares about, even though he does not believe he really cares about anyone. But these lessons will be continued in Volume 2, these lessons get kind of repeated, but this time he is able to put them into action more. Lesson number 1, learning that his actions have consequences. Rocket takes some batteries from these people for no reason. This in fact makes their journey much more difficult because the people who he stole them from are after them for the rest of the movie. In the end, he does end up learning from this, but more as a continuation of lesson number 2, Rocket's issue with caring about people. This is explored through his connection with Yondu, who, as we learn, is basically the same person as Rocket. Yondu is the one who spells out for Rocket the idea that he pushes away people, because connection reminds him of how empty he is. Because of this, Rocket recognizes that he needs to change, and he does. We see this because in the end of the movie, Rocket is the only one in the group capable of making a hard decision to leave behind one of the group members in order to save the rest of them. And when he is asked why he's doing this, he states that he cannot lose more than one friend in that day, solidifying the fact that he has now come to terms with the idea that he cares about others and these relationships are valuable to him. Because in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, Rocket was in the midst of his arc. The next time we see him, we are able to see the accumulation of all that he has gone through. Infinity War starts with the Guardians finding Thor out in space. Then they share stories about Thanos. Star-Lord gets all protective over Gamora, and we learn that Thor needs to go and make a new Thanos-killing weapon, a journey which Rocket and Groot take with him. But when he leaves with Thor, he is able to see that Thor, though he is pretending to be okay, is really hiding a lot of real emotions, something Rocket is very familiar with. Through Rocket's bonding with Thor, we learn that Thor views himself as having nothing left to lose because of all that he has already lost. And to this, Rocket whispers to himself,
I can lose a lot. Me personally, I can lose a lot.
The importance of this little whisper by Rocket is so huge, because now Rocket's at a place where he feels comfortable admitting that there are people that he cares about, and losing them would have an effect on him. And as you may have guessed, at the end of the film, Rocket loses everybody he has ever cared about, and because of how far he has come, we know how hard this hits him. So yeah, I think the voice of Bradley Cooper in a CGI raccoon is the best character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay, Lamborghini Mercy. Yo chick, she so thirsty. I'm in that 2C Lambo with your girl, she tryna jerk. Okay, Lamborghini Mercy. Yo chick, she so thirsty. I'm in that 2C Lambo with your girl, she tryna jerk me. Okay, Lamborghini Mercy. Yo chick, she so thirsty. I'm in that 2C Lambo with your girl, she tryna jerk me.